Hello everyone and welcome to Dr. Fluffy's channel, and today in Cleaning the Litter Box we're taking a look at the gender tag project, and we're actually going to answer their questions. So what is the gender tag project? Who the fuck knows? It looks like a way for SJWs to continue to push his narrative that gender is basically fashion, because that's what they think gender is, fashion. Well, gender is just a translation of biology into your role in society. But let's dive into the questions and analyze how these questions do not relate even to gender in a lot of the times. So, let's take a look. First question, how do you self-identify your gender? What does that definition mean to you? First, I cannot self-identify as a gender. I am born with a gender. Gender is defined by my chromosomes. Gender is just the translation of biological sex in terms of society, meaning it's basically a nicer word for sex. And normally what defines your gender, of course, is your role in reproduction. So males have a penis and give sperm. Females have a vagina and eggs and reserve sperm. That's all that defines gender. And to prove that is that 99.7, more than 99.7% of all people in Western society and all over the world, their biological sex match the correct gender. When you do a scientific statistical analysis, that means that the hypothesis that sex defines gender is correct. Less than 0.3% of people are just variance noises caused by genetic mutations and errors. And we'll probably, I don't know if we're going to discuss this in this video, because I already discussed this in every video that I did, and I completely nailed the explanation why you have that 0.3%. Next question, what pronouns honor you? First of all, pronouns are not to honor you. Pronouns are something we use in society to easily communicate with one another. So it's not you that defines your pronouns, it's your gender that defines your pronouns. And you have two to choose from, he and she. That's all, because you have two genders. Therefore, I am a male, I have XY chromosomes, so the correct thing to call me is he. If somebody called me she, they would be scientifically, biologically wrong, probably be trying to insult me or just making fun of me. More or less, I wouldn't care. If it was in a very insulting way, I'll probably just kick the fuck out of them. Now this question truly gets deeper into how SJWs and feminists think gender has anything to do with fashion. Describe the style of clothing that you most often wear. This has nothing to do with gender. You have a lot of people with different styles. Now me personally, I am a metal gothic kind of guy. I wear a lot of black, I wear a lot of military clothing. I used to wear my hair long, you know, for all the headbanging stuff. We used to wear a lot of rings, skulls, necklaces. But here's the thing that also SJWs don't understand. When, for example, I went into important situations in work, for example, I would not dress like that. I would dress as normal as I could and as professional as I could. And this is something that SJWs do not understand, because they think they can dress how they want and be how they want to be in situations that society has certain rules of aspect that you should have. You're not going to a scientific conference dressed like you do in college. Like, you know, with the either it's the hipster look or the metal look or the SJW look. When you go to a conference or to a work interview or to work, you need to be a little bit professional, because that's what's expected from you. You need to grow up. That's what I do. I dress in a certain way for work and for professional occasions. I dress a certain way, for example, to go at night, and I dress a certain way just in my day-to-day life. I adapt. And this is very important, because it's you who has to adapt to society, not society that has to adapt to you. Well, this is more a question of hygiene than a question of, and style also, than a question of gender. I've worn my hair long in the past because of my metalhead style, but now I wear it mostly shaved, like at machine, or completely shaved, like Daughtry style shaved. I always have my beard in the Daughtry style beard, trimmed, but I still have beard, but trimmed. And sometimes I shave my body because I am a fitness guy. So normally it's hygienic to have my body hair trimmed. Less sweat, less dirtiness, more easy to take a bath and clean myself. Yes, feminists. It's not just girls who like to shave body hair because it's not just more attractive not to have body hair, but it's also more hygienic. Talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What type of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? Well, as a guy, I do not wear cosmetics because I don't need to cheat anybody to think I'm pretty. And I don't wear makeup, so I don't paint my nails because I'm not emo. Metal is different than emo, by the way. And Old Spice. Always Old Spice for the win. For real man.
Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Yes, when I was very little, because I had curly, long hair, blonde, green eyes. I was completely almost a Nordic god. And yeah, because of that, because I was like 3 years old, people would look and think I was a girl. It was okay at that age. Confusions can be made, but in today life, it's very rare to confuse a girl with a boy because they have a lot of dimorphic characteristics that can really be easy to tell apart unless you're like fucking up with biology. Yeah, you can tell girls and boys apart very easily. Very few exceptions. If you have any doubts, just use the Son Goku technique.
Eres diferente de los niños. Eres una niña, ¿verdad?
It works 100% of the time. Do you experience dysphoria? How does that affect you? No, thankfully, I'm completely normal. I was not born with any genetic defect, so I do not have a mental disorder called gender dysphoria, and I'm very thankful for that because I know that what people with true gender dysphoria experience is terrible and it's very harsh on them, and I think that trivializing their experience with this all non-binary and gender is a social construct bullshit does not help them at all. On the contrary, is making things worse for them. Talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children you may have? Well, that's a lot of things to unpack. First, yes, I would love to have children, even though people like the people that created this questionnaire are making the world a terrible place, and I think children do not deserve to live in a world like they are creating. As a man, I cannot carry a child, of course. That's biology. So, facts, biology. It's important to be aware of that. Now, do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children? So, this biologically, the primary caretaker should be the mother, because that's how biology works. We are biologically programmed for the child to be dependent on the mother in the beginning of its infancy. After some time, like when they start hitting puberty, things change, and it's supposed to be the father that is the primary caretaker of the child and teaches it more how the world works. Now, regardless of that, it all depends, because sometimes one of the things that men, for example, are extremely screwed by society is, for example, in divorce cases, because a lot of times the father deserves to be the primary caretaker, and that right is almost given always to the woman, unless you have like a very serious case with drugs or alcohol. Most of the times it will go to the mother, and sometimes that's not fair. Talk about money. It is important to you to provide for a family financially if you have one. Is it important to you that you earn more than any partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? Now, again, a lot of things to unpack in just one question. Well, yes, it is important for me to provide financially to my family, but I believe in today's time a man cannot do that alone. So both parents right now in this situation, unless one of them is extraordinarily rich, it is important for both parents to provide, not just one. Is it important for me to earn more than the other partner? Well, I wish it wasn't, but the reality of the fact is women choose the partners by a lot of times by how much they earn. And don't bullshit me. This is a reality, and it's a sad reality. So very few women will date a partner that earns less than they do. This is a harsh reality that unfortunately a lot of men have to face when they are dating, when they are trying to build a family. A lot of times they are forced to take more than one job or work late hours trying to earn more money, because if they don't have any chance with the girl of their dreams, or with any girl almost for that matter, because most of the girls that do accept guys that earn less than they do, most of them are already taken because they're like these rare unicorns. Now, about paying for dates or uncomfortable if people pay for you, I think most of the times girls actually paid more things to me than the other way around. Now, sometimes I would pay, you know, like a shot or a beer or something. You know, sometimes going to the movies, I would pay the movies, but that actually didn't happen a lot of times in my life. A lot of times girls paid me stuff. And this is mostly because I have an attitude that you have to deserve my attention. I'm tired of going after girls and getting disappointments. So most of the times I actually don't go after girls. They know that this is the expected norm, is the guys go after girls. I don't do that. So most of the times, all my ex-girlfriends, they were the ones who came after me and tried to get my attention. But if I have money and I really like you, yeah, I'm going to pay stuff for you. But it's if that's mostly when we are already in a relationship. If we're not in a relationship, very rarely will you see me do something like that. Yes, as a biologist, as a scientist, I can tell you that gender is not an experience. Gender is a result of your biology, and you cannot change it to mean fashion. You look at the site and you have these important definitions, and basically there's just like two definitions that actually mean anything in the site, and it's biological sex and gender. Then everything else is basically just regressive politics, words that were made up by social justice warriors. They mean anything in real life, and they just keep conflating personality and fashion with gender, when gender is again a biologically determined factor. Even though 0.3% of people that do not match their biological sex with their gender, it's a biological reason that happens. It's a genetic error that happens. It's a disorder that happens. Again, if you want a deeper understanding on the problem of gender, I have like tons of videos from my War on Gender video, and of course a lot of reply videos about gender where you can learn how to understand problem of gender, and now biological sex is the same thing as gender. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Actually, I think it's a good idea to do this video and kind of mock the idea of this video, to make them understand that how ridiculous a lot of these questions are. Share my video if you can, subscribe if you haven't, help the fluffiness grow. Say fluff.